Nick Caserio makes a move on a Saturday. Texans add a corner, Shaquill Griffin, 1-year deal worth up to $4.5 million. The Starbucks baby, Jordan Schultz, had it first. This is a good move. I like it. It's a low risk, medium-ish reward move that could end up being better than we'd hoped. And this is one of the luxuries that Nick Caserio has when you have the ability to churn the bottom of the roster because you don't have dead cap space. Last year they had over 70 million in dead cap space. This year you can afford to throw $4.5 million at a guy who's looking to stay in the NFL. Really, a couple of years ago, Griffin was one of the most sought after free agents on the market. He was a guy who every team who wanted a corner, if your team would have signed him, you would have been pleased. But he ended up in Jacksonville, ended up in a tough situation where Urban Meyer was a total dumpster fire and then had the back injury last year and didn't have a very good season. So he was on the market. The Texans have Derek Stingley, who they feel can be a CB1 eventually. And then they got Steven Nelson, who had a good year last year, but as good as you feel about Steven Nelson last year, that's not something that you don't try to improve your roster on. And at the very least, this is going to be some competition for Steven Nelson. At the very most, it's an upgrade on something you already don't feel that bad about. You feel good about Steven Nelson's play, but if Griffin can perform to the caliber closer to what he was in 2019, when he was a Pro Bowler, so he is a recent Pro Bowler, then you got to feel good about that. He's also 3 years younger than Nelson, so he's 27 years old, and you churn that roster. So props to Nick Caserio, props to the Texans for making this move. Does he fit in DeMeco Ryans' scheme? Who knows? He fit in Seattle. Don't even know if he wasn't a scheme fit in Jacksonville, just couldn't really stay healthy, and they got a lot of money going in different places, and they could save some money from the release. So you're picking up a guy. I'm sure in Jacksonville they think you're picking up scraps. That's where you're at if you're the Texans. You're picking up guys who might not fit into better rosters, but you're bringing them in here, and who knows what happens. But I think it's a good move. I think it's a solid move. Churning the bottom of the roster. Steven Nelson, good year last year. Maybe this lights a fire under him and we see even better from Steven Nelson, or maybe a guy that comes in here with a larger body of work than what Steven Nelson had when he came in here. Maybe we see him do his thing. So I have no problem with this move. I think this is a solid move. I think it's a good use of cap space and a good way to not just stay around and feel like everything's good at the position. So Texans add Shaq Griffin, Pro Bowler in 2019, 27 years old. He's looking to stay in the NFL. They add some depth. There we go. Subscribe, like, ride along. You can listen to me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 on Sports Radio 610 and the Odyssey app. Shaq Griffin coming to town. Credit the Starbucks baby for breaking it first.